Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. It's been an excellent hearing and good witnesses. It seems to me that the current system of tax credits just defies common sense. And you look, for example, at wind. I think virtually everybody on the committee supports wind, but wind works where the wind's blowing. We've got certain areas in eastern Oregon, for example, where it's very much a part of our future. But one of the reasons Senator Lincoln and I and a number of colleagues are interested in biomass is that's something you can use everywhere. You can use wherever it is, and you don't need the wind to blow. And I think Senator Lincoln has put it very well in terms of the biomass potential, in terms of using that sawdust, in effect, to heat a plant. I think we can go much, much further than that. You look at the amount of wood waste that is on the floor of these forests, and you're not just going to heat the plant, you're going to heat the entire town that way. So we very much need your input in terms of getting this parity standard. And I think, Mr. Green, tell me a little bit more about how particularly we get a fair shake for these half-credit technologies. It's almost like what you need is a pay-for-performance kind of standard. So I know Mr. Green and Mr. Metcalf have been interested in that. Be interested in your thinking on that.
Yes, I completely agree with Professor Metcalf about the hybrid vehicle incentives we have in place now, and I do think that a fee-based system, which whether it's based...
I haven't gotten to fee-based yet. You're going to get fee-based
later.
Yeah, in just a quick second. But tell me particularly using the biomass issue, how we could have a pay-for-performance kind of approach there, because it seems to me you're going to get real results there if you look at something along the lines of what biomass's potential is.
Well, I think you will get this with a carbon cap-and-trade system, and I'll let Professor Metcalf elaborate on that.
Professor Metcalf.
So, again, we want the biggest bang for the federal dollar that we spend on this. We want to make sure that we're subsidizing activities, that the subsidy leads to new activity that wouldn't already take place. And I think this is difficult. If we're thinking open loop biomass, for example, do we know how much activity would occur in the absence of a credit, and then how much we get because of the credit? I think these are tough measurement problems. A performance-based standard certainly starts from the proposition that we want to reward all carbon-free activity, and we want to try to make that as general a definition as possible. So if we ask DOE to provide definitions for carbon-free technology and then allow all such technologies to pass that test to get the credit, then I think that's a great approach to take.
I will follow that up with you, because I think these half-credit technologies in particular, it's almost like you say to yourself, what has evolved in terms of federal policy is who's got the best lobbyist and who can figure out how to fan out across the Capitol and win their way through the lobbying system rather than what's most effective. So we're going to follow that up with you. Now on to the fee-based question for you, Dr. Green. The theory here, of course, and it's what I've been interested in with the oil save proposal, is a technology-neutral tax credit for fuel-efficient vehicles, so as to provide consumer tax incentives for the purchase of more fuel-efficient cars and light trucks. And the idea would be to tie the credit to how much better their fuel mileage was compared to CAFE. Wouldn't something like this be, again, another practical way to use the tax code to wring more fuel efficiency out of the system we have, as opposed to I think continuing these debates about CAFE and just battling to raise the standards a little bit at a time?
Well, I think we discussed earlier the possibility that you could replace the CAFE system eventually with a kind of a fee-based system, an incentive system. I think that's likely to be true, but we don't have much experience with these systems yet, and so I think for the time being, it's useful to have both of them at the same time. And so I think that's very similar to what you're proposing.
any information you can give us, and I know my time is up, and I appreciate the chairman, on how you would actually, in the transition, go forward with both, retaining CAFE and beginning a transition to something like a fee-bait, sort of a step-by-step path to how you would do it would be very helpful. Mr. Chairman, thank you.